I said, boys, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. But I guess we have the up and upsons, right? So obviously this has already been laid out, and this happened at 10:18 a.m. So I didn't get to this immediately. But as I said before, this is something that is in the works and in the process, and China just took a massive hit while the U.S. stock markets are skyrocketing into abundance and security. So now, whoever put money into this to these markets are making bank. They're loaded. They're rich. They have the money going everywhere. It's been loaded. So things are going good here, right? So what we have here from the New York Post saying, Trump announces 90-day tariff pause for most countries, raises China rate to 125%. As he blasts yippee critics, both stock rebound gotta be a record. So again, it says President Trump announced Wednesday that his reciprocal tariff scheme was being paused for 90 days in response to overtures from dozens of countries. But duties on Chinese imports would be heightened to 125% due to a lack of respect from Beijing. Trump, 78, told reporters at the White House that yippee critics and a queasy bond market were factors in his abrupt reversal. After uttering into a hot mic that massive uptick in the stock value has gotta be a record, as the Dow Jones average closed up to more than 7.8%. So we're going to be showing you guys how much this is. So what we have here is this right here. These are the U.S. tariffs. So U.S. tariffs on its largest trading partners is China is 125%, and all the other tariffs on Mexico, Canada, European Union, Japan, Vietnam, South Korea, Taiwan, India, and United Kingdom are paused. They're paused, so they're not going anywhere. So they're paused for at least 90 days. Whereas China is really taking the hammer. And again, this is what Trump has to say. Based on the lack of respect that China has shown to the world's markets, I am hereby raising the tariff charge to China by the United States of America to 120%, effective immediately. At some point, hopefully in the near future, China will realize that the days of ripping off the USA and other countries is no longer sustainable or acceptable. Conversely, and based on the fact that more than 75 countries have called representatives of the United States, including the Departments of Commerce, Treasury, and the USTR, to negotiate a solution to the subjects being discussed related to trade barriers, tariffs, currency manipulation, and non-monetary tariffs, and that these countries have not, at my strong suggestion, retaliated in any way, shape, or form against the United States, have authorized a 90-day pause and a substantially lower reciprocal tariff during this period of 10%, also effective immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Man, Trump just did a reverse card. It really just slaps them really, really hard. But I will say, this has shown exactly on how these countries treat and care about the U.S., right? They have shown the true colors. They have shown the true colors of Canada, and they have shown the true colors of all these other countries, right? On how they really are. And it seems that Japan and South Korea and some of these other places are more aligned with us than the European Union and the United Kingdom. That's just straight up, because these people are been absolutely god awful in every single measure we have. Of course, we have here from CNN or AP. It says Trump hits back with 120% tariff and escalating trade war with China. And then we have the stock market here. This is the stock market, guys. Look at this. The Dow is up to change to 3,000%. 7.8% with 3,000 change. That's insane. Look at all of this green. The VIX is down by negative 18, but all of this is up. So Trump really played the good card here. He really played the cards that were needed to be done to help with the country, right? So I don't see where this is a negative thing here. Again, I will be going over a bigger pool of this later into the series, later into what on my stream. I think I'll do some of the stuff that I do miss or I do not cover, so that way everybody can kind of look at that. So that's what will be my streams coming up in the near future. So yeah, but again, this is stuff that is incredible, right? And Trump really put the reverse card, and this is showing on how we were treated, right? And again, this is stuff that that we have, right? And I want to show you one thing here. One thing that really shows on what has been going on with these people, all right? So I'm going to show you what the Canadian Prime Minister or what these people have been doing and how much they do not like America, all right? Because it's been shown that they are not really allies. They're kind of more of like enemies to us, and it ain't great. So without further ado, my friends, here's the clip.
An economic crisis that's brought on by the tariffs that have been put on Canada.
This is the second time in less than 8 years that the United States has, in effect, ripped up a trade agreement with its closest trading partner that it negotiated in good faith. President Trump has just announced a series of measures that are going to fundamentally change the international trading system. We are going to fight these tariffs with countermeasures. We are going to protect our workers, and we are going to build the strongest economy. He's reshaping, disrupting really, the international trading system that we've known all our lives and rupturing the global economy. And we must respond with purpose and with force.
We will fight the U.S. tariffs with retaliatory trade actions of our own that will have maximum impact in the United States. We will target those tariffs where they have maximum impact in the United States and minimum impact in Canada.
I want to start by condemning the unjustified and unprovoked tariffs that President Trump has now announced against our auto sector. These tariffs will damage his workers and his economy, just as they will damage ours. We must retaliate and target goods and services that we don't need, can buy elsewhere, or make ourselves to maximize the impact on the Americans while minimizing the impact on ourselves.
I should address yet another unfair attack on our economy from the U.S. President. The President is betraying America's closest friend and attacking our economy, proving once again that Canada must end its era of overdependence and weakness. We must be an economic fortress. We are standing up to the Americans with a Canada First reinvestment tax cut that will bring tens, if not hundreds of billions of dollars of investment into our economy to create an economic fortress against the unjustified and unfair threats of Donald Trump.
Yeah, so you have it. They're really just retaliating against the U.S. They're attacking the U.S. This is Canada, by the way. And they want to side with the Europeans, which are, globalists and elites and what have you. And it doesn't seem to be a great benefit. It's quite stupid, really. And they're even saying that the trade and the allyship for the U.S. is over. So what are we doing here exactly? Like, they really are exposing themselves as the people that they are. They never were our allies. They were just using us for their own personal gain. And then when we start trying to defend ourselves and put us, make it a fair trade, they're the ones that are angry. That is the way it is. And as I said, and I just said before, they really are trying to or wanting to cut ties or make all the trade and military help ship or what have you over.
Relationship we had with the United States based on deepening integration of our economies and tight security and military cooperations is over.
So yeah, what it is. It's like they do not like us. They don't seem like they're part of our allies at all. They're doing everything it seems known possible to do this. Even the Republican side was also going against America or against the U.S. in general. And then this guy has the audacity to say here, this man says, he has the audacity to say that if the U.S. is not going to lead, Canada will. Excuse me?
Is ready to take a leadership role in building a coalition of like-minded countries who share our values. We believe in international cooperation. We believe in the free and open exchange of goods, services, and ideas. And if the United States no longer wants to lead, Canada will.
So what we have here is again, this guy is being anti-ally. He's not being an ally to the U.S. It's like, okay, we're just going to lead. How are you going to lead? My guy, you are the same people that has less GDP than Texas. Like the Texas has Texas GDP is higher than Canada's GDP, with Texas economy being the 8th largest in the world and Canada's being the 10th. So again, that being said, what are you talking about? You're going to lead. And then let's add insult to injury here. You're also losing 33,000 jobs, 6.7%. It says as of in March 2025. So what are you talking about? How are you going to lead anything when you're doing things like this, right? It doesn't make any bloody sense. And then we have this here, where we have the OECD predicts Canada will be the worst performing advanced economy over the next decade and the 3 decades after that. So they aren't leading anything. They aren't doing anything. All they're doing is hating and threatening America and wanting retaliation, and they want to be the ones that were so-called the allies here, right? When all we were doing were asking simple things. Please just keep the illegals from entering the United States, which seems very normal to do, and then fair trade. That's all we were asking. And they end up going over the rails, siding with Europe, and then backing out on us, and then immediately afterwards going to retaliate with tariffs and all these other things on the American people. Let's not forget these are the same people that wanted to cut off electricity in America here before, right? So again, these people are not our allies. If anything, they're acting more like enemies. Honestly, I hate to say it, guys, but they're kind of acting more like enemies than Russia is. I hate to say it, because Russia hasn't really been doing anything necessarily per se that is bad towards the U.S. China has been doing bad things to the U.S., but Russia has been kind of tipping their own guard or doing whatever, right? But that's the point here. Russia hasn't said too much about the U.S. on their tariffs, whereas Canada and the European Union, everybody have been going out and attacking the U.S. constantly. How are these people considered our allies? It's really incredible how we could ever consider them to be our allies whatsoever. It really is amazing in and itself. I don't know how else to say this. So Canada's not on our side. The European Union's on our side. And we're really going to have to start thinking on how these people are our allies and how we're going to go forward, because it's not showing that they're on our side. It sounds like they're more like the enemy. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.